Welcome back, everyone. This is Griot of the Diaspora, and I am your host, Nakaira G. And today we are still in Ghana. So today's episode is going to be about another diasporan who is looking to build a diaspora community here in Ghana. And obviously, social media got a hand of it and went crazy. So let's talk about it. Okay, so over the past week, a young woman from America and her husband, who is a Ghanaian, they posted that they are building a diaspora community. And she showed the land being cleared, she showed different people working on the land. And one of the really popular Ghanaian social media accounts, Sika Official, they posted this, and let's just say social media had a field day. So I'm going to show you some of the tweets that I saw under this post. You can see people are making comments about segregation. They're calling this Liberia. They're calling this South Africa. They're saying, if Americans don't want to live amongst Ghanaians, then they shouldn't come. And so I kind of want to talk about this because if you saw my video about the Asebu Pan-African Village and the recent articles that came out about this, then this video may be of interest to you. Now, before I get into that, I just want to make a quick commentary to people who made some comments on my last video, okay? I want to make something very clear to you guys, okay? I do not speak for people who are not a part of my particular community. I am not a part of any community, okay? I am not an Israelite. I am not an FBA. I am not any of those things that you guys come up with, okay? I am an individual who have 12 years of experience in this country. I went to college here 12 years ago, and I was in Ghana well before the year of return. So respectfully, when I speak about Ghana, I'm speaking from 12 years of experience. I'm not speaking from year of return experience. Real quick, y'all, make sure you download my new ebook. It is a travel planner and journal. I made this about 1.5 years ago, and it's really, really cool. There are 10 different entries, so as you are on your travel journeys, make sure you download this ebook. It's only $10, and you can get it on my website today at nakedgoldonline.com. You can download it, you can print it, whatever works for you. Make sure you cop that today. Okay, let's continue. So I really wanted to talk about this because I think that a lot of people are getting things misunderstood. When you see diasporans here in Ghana, it seems like some people genuinely think that people are stealing land. I've seen a lot of these comments that said, diasporans are stealing land, they're stealing land. And that was also the conversation that was being made with the Asebu Pan-African Village, which in both cases is not the truth. Diasporans are not stealing land. They are paying for land. They're paying for the land, whether they're paying for it the right way or they're paying the right person. Those things are the parts that we don't really know until these people decide to speak up. But a lot of people are just showing their building process. They're just showing, look at my house, y'all. But they're not really talking about the intricacies of what's going on and the dangers that they have faced and the allegations that have been going on across the country since 2019. So with this young woman, she posted on TikTok that she has bought land, which again, we don't know if she bought the land, if the land was gifted to her. We don't know any of that. If you've seen any of my other videos, you've also seen me say, you cannot own land in this country as a foreigner, okay? And even as a foreigner, You can buy land in the sense of renting it and leasing it for a certain amount of time. But at the end of the day, your emotional and ancestral connection to Ghana does not guarantee you land ownership. It does not mean that the person that's selling you land looks at you as one of them. That is not what is going to happen, okay? So when this woman posted that she's bought land and she is subdividing the land for people who would like to purchase different pieces of the land and build their own homes on that land, people found this to be problematic. So I am focusing on this video here. I am focusing on why this is considered problematic, okay? So one of the reasons why Ghanaians feel and other diasporans feel that this type of business model or this type of community model is problematic is because when you guys in the diaspora are coming to Ghana and you guys are buying land, right? And you guys are buying land, and then what happens is however much money you spend on the land, you guys then resell the land to other diasporans for damn near 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times more than what you yourself paid for the land. So yes, that's problematic, right? Another reason why this is considered problematic is because now that you have bought this land or was gifted this land, now you are somehow operating as a land broker with no license, with no registration, with no citizenship, with no experience as a developer, as an architect, as a sustainability practitioner. Like, there's no experience that a lot of people who are coming to this country saying, yeah, I'm buying land, I'm selling land, let's build a community. I'm not building no community with somebody that ain't never built a community before. I'm not building a community with somebody that didn't own a farm back in the States. So it becomes problematic when you guys come over here and all of a sudden you guys give yourselves these professional titles that you've never had before back where you are from. That is quite problematic. Another reason why this is considered problematic is because Ghanaians feel that if we are to be learning each other, getting to know each other, then creating these small micro communities, even though inherently it's nothing wrong, right? Jamaicans have done it. Brazilians have done it since the 1800s, early 1900s. There have always been groups of Afro descendants of enslavement who have come back to Ghana or different parts of West Africa who have rebuilt, small communities and small micro communities with their own people inside of bigger and larger villages. That is not necessarily the problem. What's the problem is that you guys are trying to become entrepreneurs off of selling land for 5 times as much as what you bought it for. Now, I'm not saying that that is what this particular woman has done, but this is a trend that is happening. It seems like this is something that a lot of people from the diaspora desire. It seems like there's this influx of people who want to start their own kingdoms and start their own communities. And it seems like people are going about it even with good intentions, but it's not being received well. I also made the video about Sombra City. And even in that video, I said, it seems like whenever Black Americans particularly, I'm going to be honest with you. I personally do feel that whenever Black Americans do damn near anything in this country, there is an uproar, there is a vitriol that I don't necessarily think that we always deserve. I do think that there is some tension between what Ghanaians think of Black Americans particularly, because we see that there is a different response to the Black British, there's a different response to the Caribbean, there's a different response to the Ghanaian diaspora. There are so many people from the Ghanaian diaspora that are doing the exact same thing, who are selling $100,000 houses, It's not just Black Americans are coming here building our own gated communities. That's not true. You can literally go all through YouTube and see people post, oh, look at this secret billionaire hideout in Accra where the billionaires live, where the millionaires live. There was just a viral video that was circulating all over social media of this Asian girl's experience in Ghana, and everywhere she went, it was a majority white people establishment. And Ghanaians themselves couldn't even believe what they were seeing. But the reality of Ghana is that you can live whatever lifestyle that you want to live, but it doesn't necessarily make it right. And I think that why so many of the Black Americans are getting a lot of the backlash when it comes to wanting to build a diaspora community and things like that, I think what's happening is there's just a lot of misunderstanding. And a lot of these people who are coming out are not saying who they are, what they do. Why do you want to have a diaspora community? Why should you be the person who pioneers that? I'm not being endorsed for this, but there is a place called the Casey Project. It's the Kwaku Ando Sustainability Institute. There's a man by the name of Brandon Rogers who is also affiliated with this brand. And if you go onto their website, this is one of the very few impressive establishments in this country where they modernized the village life, where they modernize the mud hut type of structures that people are familiar with when it comes to African housing. They have modernized the concepts of African architecture. In the name, it's called the Sustainability Institute, where it literally teaches people about agriculture, about living off the land, about how to sustain yourself if you are planning on living outside of the city, which is Maine, Accra, where I am, right? And a lot of people don't even know about the KC Project. And there are a variety of other eco-living sustainability institutes where you can actually learn how to live off of the land, where you can actually learn how to build a beautiful modern African house with African architecture. But so many people skip all of that and they come here and they spend a couple $1,000s on some land, and then 2 weeks later you guys are now pioneers and you guys are now building your own new kingdom and your own new. And it's rubbing people the wrong way, not just people who are locals to Ghana, but even diasporans, because it's making all of us look bad, honestly. It makes all of us look like colonizers. It makes all of us look like we're coming here and we don't want to be affiliated with anybody. It's bleeding out onto the rest of us. And like I said in my last video, like I said in my video about Khalees, and like I said in my video with Somber City, if you are buying land with the intentions of generational wealth, if you are buying land with the intentions of passing your house down or your land down, you really want to second guess buying land in Ghana then, because there are laws put in place that can prohibit that from happening. And if you are buying land before you are even a citizen, I would not advise that. Now, that's just my advice. Now, I know that most people, you guys come here and you feel like you're just so smarter than everybody and you think that you know everything. So you guys come here and you lose all your money and then you start complaining about the country. But there are enough YouTubers, there's enough research, there are enough tour guides, there are enough books, there are enough articles out here in the world that can really help you. And I would advise you guys to start doing your research. This is just, and like I said earlier, this isn't really about this lady in particular, because she's not the only one. And I know that even after her, there are going to be more people who are going to continue to come here and they're going to do the same thing. I just ask people, or I would advise people to come to Ghana and actually spend time here for a few years before you guys buy land, before you guys buy land and then try to resell it, I would advise you guys to come to Ghana when you do have the opportunity to come and meet with a lawyer and go to the land commission. I would advise you guys to also go to these different conferences that are going on in the country that talk about agriculture and talk about land. I would advise you guys to go visit places like the Casey Project and go speak to people and learn something and get contacts and become in network with people. Because honestly, there are people like in Asebu who have built their houses, who have bought their land, and they have no problems. But then there are people who do have problems in other parts of the country. There are people who are getting attacked. There are people who are in lawsuits that take years. There are people who are losing their homes. There are people who are going through really messed up situations. And I'm going to be very real with you. When people go through those messed up situations here in Ghana, it's very few people in the diaspora who will care and who will help you. Most of the time, they will blame it on you. They will say, oh, you should have did your research. And there will be nothing that you can do. And your $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 will be gone. And you can walk around here and tell people your story all day long and nothing will happen. Okay? I know you guys have seen the videos from Kiki Loves Nigeria, and I'm sure you guys have seen the videos from King Ganda. And the videos that they are doing, those are focused on scammers. Those are focused on people who claim that they are selling land and people are never receiving their land. That's not what I'm talking about here, and that's not what I'm talking about in the previous video about Asebu. What I'm talking about is how some of these actions of where you're buying land, how you're buying land, those things can put you in a situation that you may not be prepared for. And you can have the best intentions in the world. You can have the best intentions in the world. You can be a chief. You can be a queen mother. You can wear the clothes that they wear. You can have all the hairstyles in the world. But at the end of the day, Ghana's laws are Ghana's laws. I would advise you to actually just rent. Get an Airbnb. When you decide, okay, this is something I want to do, then rent another apartment for a year or two, and then start to explore the country. But if you are planning to come to Ghana and build a diaspora community, I don't know. I don't really think it's the best idea, mainly because I don't think that it's necessary. You know, I think that there are so many other ways that you can help a community and help a village other than trying to build this community through diaspora dollars. Because we've seen that none of it has worked so far. We've seen you guys make $40,000 off of selling land to the diaspora, and we don't see any schools, hospitals, clinics, roads. We don't see anything being built. We don't see anything being done for the community. So I think that that's also a lot of frustration that's happening as well, is that a lot of people in the local communities, especially the ones in these villages, at first they might think, oh, this is a good idea. But then 2, 3 years, 4 years down the line, they don't see no changes either. So they have every right to complain about that, because they are allowing you into their home, into their spaces. And so if you guys are just looking to sell land so that you can pocket the money and then go move away and go enjoy that money somewhere else, that is problematic. So that's it for now. Like I said, I'll do another video, hopefully to talk about the land issues and things like that. So until next time.